Have you ever thought about how you met your best friend or your teacher or whoever it is? What is your initial thought about them? Maybe they are scary or nerd looking, funny, pretty, and whatever it is. This initial thought that ran into your mind is your perception towards that person. Perception is the processing, interpreting, selecting, and organizing the information. Perception can affect the communication process. It's like, the same message may be totally interpreted by different people, different meaning, And perhaps you thought your best friend, one day you thought your best friend is a shy person, a serious, but in the end your perception may be incorrect, and your friend turned out to be a very stunning, awesome, and fashionable person. Well, back to the question is how a perception and emotional that can influence the negotiation and conflict. For example, the past experience, cultural, or present feelings are all the examples of factors that affect perceptions, and these perceptions and emotional can influence negotiation and the conflicts. And while you need to know that different peoples have different thinking, different perception, different emotional, and so they are different people negotiate the different ways, and these different negotiation process totally have a difference. Those difference can create a conflict in the process. The following are giving some examples that can arise to difference that arise during the process of negotiation, like showing emotion or not showing the emotion, like a poker face, or either using a perception to decide and support their initial thought, can affect their negotiation and lead to conflict. So sometimes this perception and emotional cause conflict, and it is important to understand these different views when entering into a negotiation. Negotiations are conversations aimed at reaching an agreement. This is to say how one perception and emotional may look at the negotiation process totally different than another. This difference can create conflict as well. For example, the moment we are doing the interview, the interviewer will have their perception and emotional when they first see you, your dress, how you look, how you dress, and see through our portfolio. Then slowly they are using their emotional to decide whether we are suitable or good enough for the job. Besides, through the conversation and negotiation process, the manners we spoke might also have affect the conflict because of the different perceptions. These are all my, for example, of the perception and emotional that influence negotiation and conflicts. Thank you.
Negotiation is the process to close the deal in which two or more individuals discuss and attempt to come to an agreement about their different preferences. For example, Company A and Company B would like to work together and they argue about pros and cons of the both company. The process also occurs perceptions and emotions, such as both of the company use selective perceptions. They select what they want to hear, see, and believe, and they will omit the things that they don't want to hear, see, and believe. Whereas if the company A representative is motivated to talk about his company, then it can change the perception of the company B towards the company A, and both of the company will come out the agreement of preference or agreement of the understandings. Negative emotions may lead to conflicts. Examples: the representative of company A is low self-esteem and don't have a confidence to talk about his company. It can cause company B lose the trust of the credibility of company A. As the result, the negotiation is failed, as the company B didn't want to sign the agreement together with the company A.
Talking about how perceptions and emotions affect a negotiation and create conflict. So first, I will talk about how emotions can affect the negotiation process, and also how it create conflict. So we should know that mood and emotion are both different in terms of specificity, intensity, and also durations. So negotiation can create both positive and negative, and I'm sorry for my mistakes. Negotiations can create both positive, for example, happiness, and negative emotions such as dejection, related, or agitation. So positive emotions generally have positive consequences for the negotiation. For example, lead parties to integrate a process, while negative emotions generally have negative consequences for negotiations. For example, lead parties to be competitive or distributive process, or negative emotion also can create a conflict. So emotions can be used strategically as a negotiation gambits. So the effect of positive and negative emotions in negotiations. So first, for the positive emotions, it also can have a negative consequences. For example, more susceptible to a competitive opponent's deceptive tactics, or less focused on arguments or other parties, leading to less than optimal outcomes, or can create strong positive expectations, experiencing the defeat more strongly, and treating others more harshly if unsatisfying integrative argument is not found. So based on that, based on what I have said, positive feelings can also come out as a negative element. Then a second one is negative feelings. Okay, generally it can create a conflict and also can create problems during negotiation. So it also have a positive outcomes. First is negative emotions has an information value. It also can motivate people to either leave the situation or resolve the problem. And the third one is alerting other party of a problem in relationship, leading both to work on fixing the problem. Perception is a way of regarding, understanding, or interpret something. So perception is fundamentally individual to each person. So every different person will have a difference in their perception. Although some large or majority of people have a same or common perception, but there will be a slight or subtle differences in their perception. So often people will have an perception error, or a divergence of perception of what occurred based on the background knowledge, their assumptions, expectations, experience, and history. So this perception will frame the negotiation, and also because of the perception also can create a conflict during the negotiation.